Welcome back. Another wonderful week. Week before the holidays, week before Christmas, week before the new year. We have
Mm-hmm.
another thing to show you all, another maker spotlight. How you doing, Sonam?
I'm doing good, Arjun. How are you? Are you excited
I'm doing
for
great.
the holidays?
I'm
Awesome.
very excited. I'm excited to spend some time with family. I'm excited to eat some really good food and some
Haha,
delicious
of
dessert.
course.
I'm excited to catch up on a bunch of reading. There's a lot of research papers I want to catch up on, a lot of
Oh,
new
what a geeky
LLM stuff that's
Christmas.
going on. I know. So lame. But I got to fill my time with
No, I
something.
don't blame you. I have a lot of reading to catch up to, so I totally agree with that.
And also,
Yeah.
I got gifted some books for Christmas. So I got to read those too. So it's going to be some fun reading as
Nice.
well. Yeah.
Sounds
What about you,
fun.
Sonam? What do you got? What do you got coming up?
Well, I have to write the thesis, so that's fun, not so fun. I
Oh
cannot ever
my
decide.
gosh.
Uh, but I am doing a road trip in California, so I am eagerly looking forward to that. And then New Year's will be with my sisters, so lots of food, lots of board games, and fun stuff.
That's really
Yeah,
cool. So you're going on a lot of different journeys there. You're going on a
yeah,
very philosophical knowledge journey, starting your thesis, and you're going on a physical car journey, going on your road trip. So
exactly.
very cool.
Yeah.
Today we also have
Hmm.
another little journey. We're going to be showcasing a demo that uses the oh man, Cohere Chat API and
Yep.
some retrieval augmented generation to do some really
Hmm.
cool stuff. I feel like a lot
And
of
yeah,
demos with chat kind of focus on knowledge retrieval, but this one's kind of different. This one's kind of much more interesting than that. What do you think, Sonam?
I'm totally, I totally agree with you, and I'm actually waiting, to get started on that because the Maker Spotlight, whatever they have created, you can actually, pretend that you're chatting with your favorite movie character. Yeah, I can only imagine talking to RDJ, the Iron Man. I would love it, but just saying. All
That's a
right,
sneak peek,
so
everybody. It's a little sneak
yep,
peek.
yep.
Yeah,
So,
so I'm super excited. I love seeing new chat demos,
mhm,
especially when they're applied in really creative use cases like this, because it reminds
yeah,
us that you can take these APIs that like Cohere has, you can apply them in really innovative ways, and you can create
hmm,
something really quick, even when the demo is
exactly.
kind of small and contained. So maybe
Yep.
enough teasing. Let's introduce our guest for today. Sonam, take it away.
Yeah. Yeah, so welcome everyone, first of all. And today we have Jacky Liu, who basically was another Choral hackathon participant. And him and his team basically built this project called Cosona, and I will let him take it forward from here. Hi, Jackie.
Hey Jackie, how you doing?
Hey everyone, I'm doing great, super excited. Um,
Sweet.
All right. I guess
Let's
without
pull
any
up your
further
demo
ado, let's
and
get started. Yeah.
yeah, let you
yeah,
do
for
your
sure.
thing.
All right, hello everyone. Super excited to be here today and be a part of the Cohere community. And welcome to my project Cosana. So this was built at the Coral Hackathon on LabLab. And so today I'm just going to show you a little fun demo, a little using the implementation of the Co.Chat endpoint. Before we dive in, I just want to bring us to align ourselves with the concept of our project through a little brief skit that we filmed at the University of Oxford, aka the set for Harry Potter. Um, here you go. Oh, it's buffering. Okay, well, oh,
Oxford,
here you
and
go.
this is where the Harry Potter movie was filmed.
Okay, well, it seems like skits a little lagging today, but basically, it's just one of my hackathon partners. He goes to Oxford, And we thought about a way that we could conversate with movie characters. And so he was just on the set of the our campus, and which is the set of the movie. And we were thinking like how we can imagine of talking to a movie character. Oh, okay. So let's just jump into the motivation. So in recent times, I'm sure you guys have used GPT models or any language models. And although they're very powerful, they seem very robotic and they lack the unique perspectives that we need from humane responses. So this kind of leads us to envision a chatbot that breaks free from these constraints. And our chatbot is tailored to any specific use case. So it's capable of impersonating any character or figure or any model that we have. So yeah, so our whole idea is that we imagine a platform where users could upload content, construct a unique persona for their task, thereby personalizing their interaction with a chatbot. So picture a chatbot that assists users in learning like a new language from their favorite movie character or their superheroes. This platform helps users engage in conversations with their beloved characters, getting to know them on a personal level and being able to ask them unique questions. So our approach to the chatbot design aims to be able to chat with LLMs and in a more engaging and enjoyable way. So, okay, so let's just jump directly into our
This is Sonam.
demo. Let me switch to a tab. So we hosted the project on Vercel, and we have our backend on our own Dockerized server. So here we have like our little landing page, super simple. The theme is inspired by Cohere's color scheme. So we have 3 pages that we can head towards. So we have the personas page, where we have a bunch of preset characters from Naruto, so like animes like Naruto, films from like Marvel and Star Wars and such. And then you can just filter by characters, and you can see that there. And then we have like a create section where you can create your own persona by uploading a PDF script. But let's just demo into, I guess, the main part of it. And yeah, I guess let's try out like, Master Yoda from Star Wars. So I just finished my exam season, and I'm feeling, I guess, not so motivated for my next semester of school. But I really look up to Master Yoda, so I can ask him and get some more motivation on how to be excited for this coming school year. So let me talk to Yoda and ask him, how should I prepare for my next semester of school? And here we sent our string of text into our backend server, where it connects to the Co.Chat endpoint and connects to our preset Yoda persona, and it'll be able to inherit his personality. So here speaks in a Yoda tone, and if you're not familiar with the Star Wars series, Yoda speaks in a very unique way, and his sentence structures are very different. And here the Co.Chat endpoint was able to mock this. So here we have, much to prepare, mindfulness is key. Listen to the wise words of Yoda. You should, 1, study plans, create for subjects and courses, break down goals, and et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, so basically it took the way that he speaks and also took in some like general knowledge of like studying as well, and puts it, I guess, it mashes the two together to, I guess, have a more engaging conversation. I could also ask Yoda some other questions, such as who or how do I become a Padawan? And then, so just a little more related to the, I guess, the film, or I guess in Yoda's world. It's loading. Yeah, and then here talks about more something that aligns to the film that we have included in our script that we preloaded with. So here talking about being disciplined to be a Padawan, and just any context to, I guess, my question. So yeah, very, very simple and very easy to chat with these personas. And yeah, we do have a bunch of other presets here. So if you want to try that out yourself, feel free to head to our for sale site here. But yeah, let's head into another feature where we upload our own movie scripts. So I was gonna do one on the Fast and Furious franchise. So I just imported like a shortened script for Fast 5. So here what I just did is I uploaded my script, and then the file, the PDF file gets sent into the Co.Chat endpoint where it gets parsed, and then it pulls out characters. So here we have Dom, Brian, Mia, Herman, Vince. So yeah, all the characters in the film. So yeah, so I can just chat with Dom. So I'll just ask him like the most common question that most people might know him for, or like the meme. And it's to ask him, what does family mean to you? And if you're not familiar with the meme, Dom is just known for doing everything for family. So here we'll be setting into our backend, and here Dom is chatting. So yeah, family is everything, blood or not, you got to keep somebody you can trust, so on and so forth. And yeah, he just responds with Dom's values and his whole persona. And then he just leaves a little outro of peace out, Dominic Toretto. But yeah, it's super cool. I guess we can also try out another PDF script. I'm gonna try out with Joker. So here, yeah, so again, I just input the PDF file and it gets parses into our backend. Oh, this doesn't seem like the right script. Oops, sorry, I uploaded the wrong one. Okay. Do note there are some constraints on how you upload the PDFs, as there are tokens. Oops, sorry, I uploaded the wrong one. Or actually, let's just try a different character from the Fast 5 since we have it here. You just talk to Vince. It's like, what is your favorite car? But yeah, so I'll explain later in how the backend works. But yeah, it does take in tokens from the Co.Chat endpoint, so longer scripts might not be able to completely parse through. But yeah, here's another, I guess, persona with Vince from Fast 5, asking what his favorite car is. You see he goes into a lot of detail, and since the movie is about cars, he shows quite passion about the car. Okay, but yeah, that's the whole demo of like our little site here. Yeah, super cool that able to use the Co.Chat point to, I guess, take in the personas. So some use cases. So I see, as you can tell after witnessing the demo, might be wondering what are other potential use cases. You can imagine being able to convert as more than just movie characters. It can be useful for writers, as some writers might have some writer's block, and they can conversate with characters that they created in the past and kind of try to come up with ideas, as they can be able to immerse in a one-on-one conversation rather than just like imagining the characters themselves off the top of their head. But yeah, and then you can also create other stories. If you want to write your own, I guess, fanfics about your favorite characters, or just putting yourself in your own imaginary, I guess, situations, such as like maybe talking to Goku and asking how he could fight Superman or something like that. But yeah, let's just switch into gears and look into the backend itself and how the code works. So here we have a little diagram. I'll briefly explain it, but basically, as you saw, we had our front end where we upload the movie text and scripts, and also the user inputs, and it connects to the Co.Chat endpoint where it then identifies the movie characters, and then the Co.Chat endpoints will pick out the characters and pick out their personas and send into our backend where we have our character templates to chat with our front end. So let me switch on to the GitHub. So this repo is completely public, so you can check it out yourselves. we have a bit of a write-up on how we had things put together. So yeah, the front end itself is built using Next.js and React. Pretty simple front end, and again, deployed on Vercel. And then we have our backend here, which is the main, I guess, the meat and the potatoes. So let's just jump into the API file. So here we use Flask to send the get and post to our front end. So yeah, we use LangChain and the Co.Chat endpoint to set up the chatting. So here's our first function. This is the function that's used for the input of the movie characters as well as the PDF characters. So here you can input the files, or if you don't input the files, it'll just default to the character list that we have existing. So yeah, and then this character listing will get into our another function, which is in the Co.Chat endpoint, or sorry, our co-file. Yeah, so here it'll list out like the main characters. So as you saw on the last page of when I upload a PDF, it'll like list out the characters. And here we have the Co.Chat endpoint be able to tell us like, or to extract out the characters from the movie script. And then we use some prompting to send it into the Co.Chat endpoint to immerse into the full character persona. Yeah, and then here we also have like our another function just to take in the script and parse into the Co.Chat. And then, oh yeah, and then here's another function, our post request for chatting. Very simple input, and then the output from the get response here. And so from the get response here, it'll be taking in again the text input and also using the characters that we have existing. So either from the PDF or the presets that we have. But yeah, so that's pretty much how I guess the backend works. And again, the full stack that we had. So our front end was all designed on Figma, Next.js, Tailwind, TypeScript, and then the backend is just Python, Co.Chat, and LangChain. But yeah, so that's pretty much the full demo of the project. But yeah, would love to answer any questions, or if you guys have any requested inputs, I would love to, try it out onto our platform here if you want to do a specific question for our persona.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jacky. That presentation was fantastic.
I absolutely second that. Yes. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. And yeah, this is really cool. People are definitely getting interested in learning about your code and what you did. So, yeah, folks, let questions come in. And while they write the questions, I do have a question for you, Jacky. So I saw that for vector store you use Chroma. Do you like was there any specific reason for doing that? And I ask it only because I've been exploring a lot of vector databases lately, so I'm just curious what was your reason behind using that?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for our group, this is our first time really ever working with LangChain and just using the Co.Chat endpoint. So we noticed that a lot of people use like Chroma to store
Mm-hmm.
information for the models, and I just thought that it was like the easiest to use, and it seemed like it made the most sense. And I think it's easiest for us to, I guess, extract their information.
Mm-hmm. Okay, gotcha. Arjun, do you have any questions for Jackie?
Yeah, absolutely. First, I want to say again, great presentation and really slick looking demo. I haven't seen too many demos using LLMs be built on Vercel, so that's really cool for me to see. And I work as a data scientist as my day job, so a lot of what I do is in Python. So I use a lot of Streamlit and Gradio. The thing about those platforms is that you can't really style them as much. So I imagine that kind of using something like Vercel really helped you take control of how you want to present the application. So I'd really like to hear more about like the design decisions there, how you wanted people to interact with the APIs that you kind of hooked in on the back end, and why you chose this format for your application.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was the lead design into the front end because I really like front end design, but also really wanted to incorporate a really cool back end with I guess Cohere's Co.Chat endpoint. So I guess the full design comes from like a very basic and very intuitive user interface. Just like any website, right? You'll have like a nice landing page and a little description of how like the project works, and super big buttons as to how oops, yeah, super big buttons as to how to, I guess, navigate through the site, and it allows for easier flow. We did try using Streamlit at first, but we wanted to incorporate our own um, design on the front end. So with like using like React components, we're able to set up cards easily. And we're thinking about how we could expand more in the future. Like say if you were to like save your characters, we can easily use the components to just parse it onto the screen here, like what we have with the preset personas here. And then also like the taskbar or the sidebar, again, with React, it's like a component base. So we're able to just reuse things and recycle our code. So it's, I guess, it has like a linear design and stays cohesive to our whole product.
I really
Yeah.
like the examples that you kind of showcased in order to demonstrate how well this use case can work. I enjoy the Fast and Furious series a lot. It's one of my favorite, like,
Same.
no thoughts, fun
Guilty.
movie franchises. And like the one thought that was going through my head while you went through that example was like, oh man, what I wouldn't give to like speak to Han again because of his terrible death in Tokyo Drift, right? So I imagine a lot
Right.
of like fan bases might have similar motivation of like, oh, I'd love to ask this character what they think of events that they haven't seen or heard about yet, or I'd love to like try to tie in some loopholes or learn about more of this character's background. So I think from a branding perspective, you can kind of get really far having these pre-trained large language models do a lot of this sort of heavy lifting. And I imagine from a prompt perspective, you can also elicit these types of specific behaviors based on the data sets that you're using and the way you are kind of engaging with the model. So I know this is a demo, so probably you threw this together pretty quickly for the hackathon you're working on. But I imagine there was some iteration you must have taken on one of those 2 points, like kind of controlling the user experience to stay on brand and the actual prompting. So I'd like to hear about maybe any experiments that you did to come up with the best prompt, or any testing that you did in order to ensure users had a consistent experience when they were speaking with each of the characters. Maybe that could be related to the data sets that you used for these preset characters, or maybe the prompting and chunking strategy that you use in order to kind of keep people on task. So I'd love to hear about any of those million questions I just asked you, Jacky.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was a very I guess different process compared to, I guess, like learning any other API. Yeah, again, it's like our first time really working with any of these LLM type of projects, or just like yeah, these language models. So like here, for example, like Tony Stark, I can ask him like, what is your favorite suit, right? And so when we first started off, we were actually just on the Coral website itself, just trying to test out our prompt engineering, because we weren't exactly sure how to really implement like the um, or like the persona. So we just thought to just do like direct prompt engineering. So I do have some constants I can show here. Like for here, like here are some like our
Could you zoom just a bit?
yeah.
You know what? We might be able to do that a
Yeah,
little bit. There we go.
there we go.
Yeah, so here it's like our I guess our first like kind of test flight. as to how we got the characters to inherit the personas. So here, it's like super simple, like constant strings, where we have like Harry Potter here, taking in the response. So we first when we created our prompts, we tell the characters like, hey, you're the character, followed by ensuring that it strictly responds in the perspective of Harry Potter, and that it fully fulfills the character and does not do other things such as like, I don't know, write like Python code or something like that. As you've probably seen like the Chevrolet bot on like Reddit or something like that. But yeah, basically we just made sure to prompt engineer to stay consistent with the character. As you can tell of all of these other characters, it is like very basic prompts, and we could add more to it. But this is like how we kind of started it off. And then when we go through our characters, let's see. We do also have some more prompting. Oops, not here. We do have some more prompting for when the Co.Chat endpoint grabs the PDFs here. So here we have another example, like extracting the characters and getting the dialogue that's like related to the characters. And then here, like, again, spits out the string of, or a list of characters that we're going to use. And then, yeah, and then here we have like the same kind of prompting as well for when we are able to grab the character, followed by the, I guess, like personas. But yeah,
I think so. That's really neat, right? It's like you're kind of leveraging the world knowledge that the large language model might already have, being trained on tons and tons of data from the internet, but you also have these context specific things like the script, for example, or the way you are prompting in order to kind of elicit this kind of behavior, which is really cool. It's really cool you can get that far just by using these kinds of techniques. I think some suggestions that I might have would be there are a lot of fan-made Wikipedia pages for a lot of these cinematic universes that include a lot of descriptions on like how the character thinks or what the character values and like what their background is and so on and so forth. I think it would be really interesting to give the users an option to either inject that as a system level prompt for the type of prompting that you're doing. So maybe something that gets passed at every single chat response that gets connected in order to kind of keep the model on task. Or it's something you can just force on your own end, like curate your own description of what you think the character should respond. That's maybe more detailed, like here are all the values this person has, or here's the way that this person speaks, or whatever, and see what ends up happening that way. I think that would be a really interesting future application here. And one other thought I have is like another way of kind of curating the experience a little more might be to offer a way to describe a specific situation or describe a specific context. So maybe you're like setting the scene between you and another character, and you're both in that scene. Like, hey, I'm with Tony Stark at, I think it was the favorite shawarma shop, like at the end of one of the Avengers movies or something like that, right? And we're having a chat, and he's telling me about his next plans, and like that's a system level prompt, and then the entire conversation is just based on hypothetical things that could happen with that sort of dialogue there. I think that would be an interesting experience for people who are fans of these universes to be able to not only kind of pull these characters out of those cinematic universes, interact with them, but also have a way of putting yourself in the scenes and kind of working within whatever happens there. So having said that, what are your plans for further developing this project, and what are the next maybe 2 or 3 issues or ideas you want to tackle and add to this application?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. Like how you said, we'd love to be able to go through like these like wiki pages of the users, or these personas, because yeah, this is like, so the persona or like the background knowledge is completely from like Cohere's pre-training, but yeah, would love to ground it to like any like fan made sites, because there's like some like very like specific characters that might not be like like parsable through the Co.Chat endpoint. So like, for example, like if you're into like on a really niche character that gets like a really short amount of like screen time and not many people write about it. We would love to, I guess, connect that to like exactly what you said. So maybe like adding like when we create the character scene, maybe like being able to have a input for that, inputting some more base knowledge about the character, and then also we'd actually love to take advantage of like just like LangChain conversation savings and be able to just like go back and chat with the characters. Um, yeah, that was like one of the constraints that we had developing. But yeah, that's something that we do look forward to implementing in the near future.
Pretty cool.
I think a
That's a good
really
set of, yeah.
so sorry, Sonam, I totally cut you off. Go ahead.
It's okay. No, I was just going to say that those are some good, really good, important next steps, I guess.
And yeah, I mean, from a branding perspective, from a more corporate perspective, of where companies might be really interested in understanding what people might want to ask these types of characters as you've created them on the application, it would also be neat to see like maybe the most common questions people end up asking, or the most common queries or topics that people kind of end up pulling out. And that way, you kind of learn more about like what are people interested in learning more about. You can tune the model or the way you're kind of curating the data set that the model is leveraging in order to create responses on that. That could be one way of kind of understanding how people interact with the application can get you really far really quickly. But yeah, so this was an awesome demo. I think this was very clean and it was presented really well. I'm excited to kind of mess around with the application, maybe fire up some Fast and Furious scripts and see if I can learn more about the movie franchises, or at least catch up. I haven't seen the most recent two, and I really need to get on that. Thank you so much, Jacky, from Sonam and I. Sonam, do you have any other final comments?
No, I'm eager to try it out. It looks pretty cool. I'd love to chat with Iron Man. So yes, pretty happy about it.
Yes, thank you so much,
Again,
and
thanks so
thank you
much,
to the
Jacky.
Cohere. Yeah.
Any final words for the audience or for us?
Yeah, for the audience, yeah, feel free to test it out. Yeah, I would love to hear some more feedback of how we can better improve the project. And to you guys, thank you so much to the Cohere community, to Sonam, Arjun, and Sandra for inviting us to present our project.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot for sharing it. And thank you everyone for listening in. I hope you have great holidays and a great new year. Happy holidays to the two of you too.
Yep, you too.
Awesome.
Happy holidays, everybody.